Okay, hi guys. So back by popular demand, I'm sure. This section for Workplace Math 10 from Module 3 is on overtime pay. So section 3.5, we're going to be looking at overtime pay. And we're also going to look at section 3.6, which is other ways of earning an income. So a lot of full-time jobs, you're working about 40 hours a week, but other jobs have many different hours. So you need to find out when you're getting a job what the regular hours are per week, and then anything else that you do as extra. And I kind of didn't plug this in correctly, did I? I wonder. Hello. Sorry, brief technical difficulties. Aha, there we go. Anything that you do extra over the regular hours that you're expected to work per week, usually it's over 40 hours a week is the typical, is considered overtime. Okay, now there's two more common. So overtime, you either get time and a half, which is when you're getting paid 1.5 times your regular earnings, or sometimes you can get double time after if you do a certain amount of overtime, or sometimes you go straight to double time, but some people will get 1.5 times their regular earnings, and then it'll move over to 2.5 times their regular earnings. Okay, so let's look at the first question here for section 3.5. Just give me one sec. So Marcel earns $15.82 per hour. Just one moment, let me get a highlighter here. Okay, so Marcel earns, oh, there we go, having technical difficulties a lot this morning, $15.82 per hour, and he works 37.5 hours each week. Okay, and now, so that's like his regular earnings. They're saying he gets paid time and a half for any extra hours he works over 37.5 hours each week. So anything over 37.5. And now they're saying if he works 42.25 hours during 1 week, how much will he earn? So that's what we're going to try and find out here, is how much will he earn. So the solution, we need to work out from his total hours that he works. So total hours worked. 42.25 hours. How much of those are regular time? So his regular hours, regular time, and how much of those will be overtime hours? And those are going to be the two things that we're going to look at here. So overtime. So we know for regular time, it's anything up to and including 37.5 hours a week. So he's definitely worked at least 37.5 hours of regular time, and that's 37.5 hours where he's going to make $15.82 an hour. That's the regular time. Overtime will be whatever's left over. So we have to take the 42.25 and we need to subtract the 37.5 hours. And so we're going to get 4.75 hours of overtime. Okay. So these are our two things here, and I guess I could have done this in yellow and not in blue. I probably should have done that, but that's okay. I think you guys can follow this. So we're going to start with our regular time. So I'm just going to do one of these guys. Looking first at our regular time, he's making, so regular time, he's making, for 37.5 hours, he's making regular time at $15.82 per hour. Okay, so that's what he's being paid. So we'll set ourselves up here with I'm just going to do everything as proportions, dollars per hour. He's making $15.82 in 1 hour. So how much is he going to make in 37.5 hours? Oops, 37.5 hours. Okay. So we are going to multiply our pair, 1582 times 37.5 divided by our spare, which is 1. So his regular earnings here are going to be $593.25. Oh, that was not. Let me see if I can control Z. Yes, okay. I did not mean to delete that. $593.25. Awesome. And now we're going to just scroll down a bit and we're going to figure out his overtime. So overtime hours, we figured out that he was going to end up working 4.75 hours. And then he's going to make for overtime. So if we go back up here, they told us that he gets paid time and a half, so 1.5 times his regular wage for overtime. So we need to take his wage, which is $15.82 per hour, and we need to times it by 1.5 to figure out what his new wage is for working overtime. So when he works overtime, he gets $23.73 per hour, okay? So this is his overtime wage. It's really important that you do that. So then we can do the same thing where we set ourselves up with a proportion, dollars per hour. We know he's now making $23.73 in 1 hour. This is overtime. So how much is he going to make when he works 4.75 hours? We multiply our pair, so 23.73 times 4.75, and we divide it by our spare, which is 1. And so then we end up with overtime earnings of $112.72, okay? All right, so now that we have those two, to figure out the total, oops, scrolled a bit too far down here, to figure out the total that they made, we're gonna have to take what he made from number 1 and add it to what he made from number 2, right? So this is his regular earnings, and this is his overtime earnings. So we'll take what he made from number 1, which was $593.25, and we're going to add it to what he made from his overtime earnings, which was $112.72, and that'll give us our total that he made for this week, which is going to be $705.97. Okay, so awesome. So yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to break it down. So I'm going to just scroll back up here and go through. You want to break it down into regular and overtime. Okay, so you're going to figure out how many hours does he have that are regular hours. Okay, make sure you take his regular wage and you keep it the same, and then you figure out what his regular hour earnings are, and then you're going to go and you're going to figure out, okay, so anything over that is overtime, over 37.5 hours, so how many hours did he work overtime? And then make sure you are multiplying correctly by either time and a half or double time, depending, okay? So find out what his new overtime wage is. Figure out what his overtime earnings are, and then you just add those two together to get your final answer. I'll use pink. Okay, so this is your final answer, is adding those two together. All right, hopefully not too shabby. For this section, please do all of the questions. Like I said, we're not really doing quizzes or tests right now, so please do all of the practice work for this section. Okay, that's all there is for 3.5. I will see you in the next video for 3.6.